Greetings once again, all. It's Chuke here from Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Well, I'm not going to lie, I love doing these top 4, top 5, top 3 bear defense firearm videos. A lot of people think I'm flaky because I go back and forth between what are the top firearms, what are the top 10 millimeters. One week I think it's the Glock, one week I think it's the Springfield. That's just me. I love checking out new things and just researching this. Testing firearms, it's just a passion of mine, but I do admit I have made some mistakes recently in some of the videos I've done that have got a lot of views, so I'm going to talk about that in my updated top 5 firearms for Alaska bear defense. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 1911 guys are just tearing me up, because on one of my big videos I said the capacity of a 1911 is 6+1, 7+1. Obviously that's not true. Everywhere you can find standard 8-round magazines for 1911s. A lot of times it's 7 rounds in the old days, but now we have a lot of Wilson Combat mags that are 8 rounds. And of course, we also have the 10 rounders that are a little bit longer you can add to it. So actually 8+1, 9 total rounds for a good 1911 and 10 millimeter. That's not bad. That's actually, if you got one that you have it tuned so it's reliable and shoots every time, that's going to be some of the striker fires that I talk about, just because the grip angle on a 1911 is superior, and I do believe hammer fired is superior over a striker fire pistol. But that being said, on the very last one, we're going to talk about another mistake I made. But let's go with my top 5 firearms for Alaska bear defense. Now, some of it is apples and oranges, because I will talk about pistols versus rifles. And obviously, I've always said a rifle and a shotgun is what you want, but I do have to say that sometimes when you're fishing, when you're hiking, you're not going to always keep the shotgun or rifle on you. Chances are it's so heavy you're going to set it down at some point, and then if a bear comes around, you're in trouble because you don't have it on you. That's why I'm a big believer in the chest holster, big bore revolvers, 10 millimeter semi-autos. So number 5, I am going to go with the Glock 20 Gen 5 10 millimeter. A lot of people have got Glock 20s and chest holsters because of my videos, and I'm real tickled about that. I think it's great for capacity. You've got 15+1. You put some buffalo boar or some Underwood ammo in there, you're going to have 630 foot-pounds of energy is what I've gotten with this, with some good hard cast. Just amazing, and you're going to get a lot more shots than you can with the revolver for some people, and quick reloads. And there, you can argue all day that this won't work, but these cases keep coming up. I've got several of them this year talking about guys who have taken down charging brown bears with 10 millimeter semi-auto pistols. So that's number 5. I really like the Glock 20. It's been a staple of mine for years, since I started the channel. I do like the Gen 4. Sometimes I will say that the Gen 4 is a little more reliable. The last test we did, the Gen 5 was more reliable, but then again, Chuck had a Gen 4 with Cerakote on it, and that kind of changes things, I think. So Gen 4, 5, I think they're great. This is my number 5 choice for Alaska bear protection. Number 4 is going to be the Ruger Toklat 454 Super Ruger Redhawk. It's got a 5-inch barrel, really tough frame. I do have a just-in-case leather chest holster for this thing that I simply love, and this is just hard to beat. The 454 Casull, the recoil is not bad, and you're getting significantly more power than a 44 Magnum. You can easily get 1,300 foot-pounds of energy and more, 1,700 foot-pounds of energy of stout loaded hard cast. You know, I've got 400 grain hard cast pills that I'll shoot out of this bad boy. It's just devastating. You get a bear with one shot in the right place with one of these things, it's going down. This thing is just a bear stopper, and that is why it's so hard to find. The Ruger and Lipsy or whatever slowly started rolling them out again, but they're still extremely hard to find up here in Alaska. I got a lot of buddies that have 1 or 2 of these, and they're always looking for more, because this is the ultimate Alaska collector's item. And like I said, they are getting more rare, even though they're being produced a little bit at a time. So number 4, Ruger Toklat 454 Casull, great big bore revolver. Number 3, now this is something that is not as around or available. This is a 460 Rowland semi-automatic pistol. Now this is on an FNX 45 pistol from FN that is actually hammer fired. Like I said, I believe hammer fired is better than striker fired, and it is chambered in the very stout 460 Rowland. I also shoot 45 Super Plus P out of this, and it's just amazing. You're getting almost 44 Magnum power, not quite, but on the low end of a 44 Magnum in a semi-auto platform. And we've got 14 round magazines plus one. It's really hard to beat. I think you can get 13 rounds in these magazines, but it's really hard to beat. The recoil isn't bad because it is semi-automatic. And as far as a bare defense pistol, this is what I consider the ultimate. That's why I kind of stopped here, because I don't think you can find a better bare defense pistol for Alaska brown bear and grizzlies, especially than the 460 Rowland round. And surprisingly, the 460 Rowland is pretty popular up here in Alaska. Greg Swanson from GS Holsters has a 1911 chambered in 460 Rowland that he brings on his moose hunts every year, and that's his sidearm. And then he's got his hunting rifle, of course. So 460 Rowland, very hard to beat. And speaking of hunting rifle, that is going to bring us to number 2, and that is a good hunting rifle, preferably in a very powerful cartridge. Now, this is a Remington 700 build. This is my latest hunting rifle. I got a big muzzle brake on there, and this is in 300 Win Mag. Very popular round up here. 300 Win Mag is just devastating to brown bears. This is probably one of the most popular calibers that hunters use in Alaska. I've got a Night Force scope on here, and I'm just pretty tickled by this hunting rifle. It's on the heavier side, but you're not going to be able to do more damage a lot of times than if a good hunting rifle, even at close quarters. The problem is if you've got your scope set on high power, you'll have to find the bear. But people bring up in the comments that, people will disparage a 270. Oh, that 270 is never going to get a brown bear. And yet at the same time, they're like, oh, 10 millimeter will take out that brown bear easily. When you look at the foot-pounds of energy, a 270 Winchester is way more powerful than a 10 millimeter round. So you got to keep that in mind. 300 Win Mag is even more powerful. So that's number 2, is a good hunting rifle. Undisputably, just a great choice for bear protection. Now, this comes to the point where I was wrong. Number 1 on a lot of my videos, especially in my last video, I said a pump action shotgun, which I still love. I had a blast building up that Mossberg 500. I put the fore end on it, the light, the laser combo, the optic, the side saddle. It had a heat shield on there. I just had a blast building that, and I talked about how the semi-auto 12 gauges I had would gum up and have problems, and that I felt a pump was more reliable. That was true because I was shooting crappy Turkish or low-end, very cheap semi-auto 12 gauge. Number 1, I am going to have to say, is the Benelli M4. This bad boy is amazing. It was developed by the Italian company, and the U.S. military used it in the Gulf War, and it's got a gas system that doesn't care what you feed it. It just stays reliable. I don't have the expensive tube to make it 7+1, so right now this is 5+1, but if you ghost feed the chamber, it can be 5+2, so a total of 7 rounds. I've got an optic on there. As you can see, I've got a light, I've got a side saddle, and this thing is just amazing. Filled with slugs, and I always say, Brennicky, the Black Magic slugs. These are the slugs that Fish and Game here in Alaska suggests you use for bear defense, and there is no doubt that this would easily stop a bear. I recently talked about that case where the guy in Kodiak took almost a 1,000-pound bear with 1 slug to the face, at very close range, just feet away. It was in his neighbor's house, and it just, instantly killed that brown bear. So this is what I'm saying. I don't think you can get better for close range bear defense. Big, 1,000-pound bear, and you've got slugs in your Benelli M4. I'm saying Benelli M4 is the #1 top bear defense firearm. My buddy William showed me his, and just seeing how amazing it is. I've wanted one of these for years, so I had to upgrade. And yeah, that Mossberg 500 is pitiful. I mean, it's still cool, and in some cases it might be a good choice, but this will always be the best choice because it's a Benelli M4. So let me know what you guys think. I love doing these videos. I will keep them up, and it's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.